Good morning, wrestling fans, and welcome to PWR Today, Monday morning, December 27th, 2021. The man they call Meathead, the lovely Linda K. Linda, we've made it through the holiday weekend. We, have a Packer victory. You don't have to win by 100 points. It's the NFL. You only got to win by 1. And 2 weeks in a row, it seems like we squeaked by, but also the number 1 team in the NFL. And 2, we made it through the holidays.
Ho, ho, ho. Yes, we did. Not only that, but on Christmas, our Milwaukee Bucks also snuck by with a win as well.
Got by on the Celtics. Yep.
It was a great day if you were a Wisconsin sports fan this past weekend. But again, a tremendous Christmas. We made it through. We're on the final week of the year. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Got New Year's this week as well. And, we got a big pay-per-view this week as well. But I don't want to jump too far ahead, but how was your Christmas, Meathead?
Hey, I got hired for my first cameo this last week.
Oh,
too.
Wow.
Yeah, now, unfortunately, I got paid in Thomas tenders, so, I can't do anything with it. Nobody accepts it. Nobody uses it except for the man they call Matthew Thomas, but I knocked out my first video this weekend.
Tremendous.
Yep, and unfortunately, you got a picture of Meathead's pool in Wisconsin outdoors. It wasn't doing anything, so...
I see. Well, I made my sister very happy by getting her a Roman Reigns featured Bloodline shirt for Christmas.
Ooh, nice.
Now we know that shirt may be part of the island of irrelevancy now. However, she was very happy at getting the We Don't Want shirt. So that was a good pop in our house
Nice.
for Christmas. Yes.
All right, cool. You know what other people got? And they probably used the promo code. Linda, who's the sponsor?
Yes. So speaking of t-shirts, if you want to be comfortable and looking fashionable, make sure to go to collarandelbowbrand.com. That was being sported where I was because it is the softest, most comfortable, best looking t-shirts around. Collarandelbowbrand.com. And to save 10% off your order, use promo code LindaK. That's LINDAKAY.
Hey, Linda, you know how when you go to events and you're supposed to, like if it's a holiday event, a family get together, you kind of up your game a little bit, what you're wearing. You might wear a nice pullover cardigan or, something like that, right?
Yes.
But halfway through the day, or even like at weddings when you start undoing the tie or you take the jacket off or whatever. So Christmas, I upped the Meathead game. I didn't look like, as Damien would always call me, the drunk uncle. I had my game up, right? I had a nice pullover, zip up, half zip. Man, it's getting hot in here. That's it. Off came the sweater. Guess what I had underneath? I had me some collar and elbow, but I had my Festus face.
I knew it. I was going to say that. So you had some collar and elbow at the holidays as well.
Of course I did.
That is tremendous.
What are you wearing? What is that face he's making? Well, let me tell you a little story. All right. Let's talk a little bit of news here. Speaking of making the Festus face or the COVID face, this last weekend, there was apparently an outbreak of COVID-19 at WWE, and the Fox New Year's Eve special has been nixed. Now, remember, day one is this coming Saturday, the big pay-per-view from WWE, but they were going to have some special featuring SmackDown this Friday, and it's not going to happen. There's a bunch of talents that have said they got the COVID, they got the Rona, they got the new variant, the whatever we're calling 2022 variant, but they got it the Omicron or the South Park Cron or whatever the hell they call it, but they've got it. And it also messed with the MSG show. Now, you heard Matthew and I talk throughout the week about how the Madison Square Garden Boxing Day one, the one right after Christmas Day at Madison Square Garden, really poor ticket sales, and they lost a bunch of talent. Apparently, here's the talent that was not available for the show. There was rumors that they lost. Sorry, my notes moved here. Rumors that they lost Big E, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, and Bianca, and they were not backstage at the show. I don't know if it's COVID related or if it's something related, but they lost a lot of talent.
Wow, yeah. These days, you just gotta do what you gotta do when that happens. So, in order to have some other top matches, who else was in then? If we got
Well, I know that they literally flew Edge in and said it was like almost an emergency fly in where, hey, Adam, we're going to need you at the show. There's a ticket at the will call for you. Just get your ass here. Bring your gear.
Wow. Well, hopefully having Edge there, I mean, obviously, I'm sure it made everyone in attendance happy. But yeah, I guess, I mean, we'll see how Raw is tonight. I can't really recall what advertised matches are on for Raw tonight, but if it's still missing the WWE champion, the women's champion, and their current, person they're in feuds with, that
who knows?
Kind of says something. And will it get mentioned on why they're
right? And yeah, will they acknowledge it? Because Roman Reigns is asking people to acknowledge him. Will they acknowledge why the talent's not around? Who's to say? And again, with WWE kind of leaking like a sieve, some of their talents, leaving the company and showing up on Wednesday nights. I mean, they even had a scheduled match apparently between Tommaso Ciampa and who was Tommaso taking on? Tommaso was taking on Pete Dunne. No, he's taking on Pete Dunne. So that was scheduled already at the MSG show, but still, I mean, they are liked, and there is no relief in sight because it's not like they got a bunch of other talents they're going to start bringing in. They fired half the roster in 2021, and by half, I mean we're talking a 200+ talent pool. They fired half of them.
Yeah.
Think about the names that they cut out this year.
That's insane.
Speaking of yesterday as well, and names that had been released and showed up in different companies, yesterday was the 1-year anniversary, a sad anniversary. The passing of Brodie Lee, Luke Harper in WWE. Lots of tweets going out, and he's been missing already for a year. And we'll talk about Rampage in just a little bit, but can you believe it's already been a year that we've lost Luke Harper, Brodie Lee?
Crazy, yeah, crazy to even just think about that. I mean, seeing some of the tweets just brought back, like, yes, the sadness, but then also just everybody pouring out their hearts about how much of a great man he was. So it was, just crazy to think of how fast that was. But seeing all those pictures on Twitter, and again, just seeing how much everyone loved him is just amazing. But it's crazy to think that was a year ago.
It's amazing that AEW has been able to keep his name so relevant and take such good care of his name in the year past. I mean, with his wife, with -1, with everybody else just showing the love and the company just being right there for him.
I mean, even starting off every show, so saying, what that means, like that's still something I think they'll just continue with forever.
Yeah. All right, let's talk SmackDown real quick before we get into Rampage. Now, SmackDown was recorded, Linda, from Chicago, I believe.
I'm 99% sure that was, yes.
99% sure as well. I don't want to make it a whole negative review. However, they used the trope that I'm really tired of, and they've been using it for 30+ years, and it happens every holiday show they do. Linda, what did they do in SmackDown?
Hand over the crowd while something was piped in, recorded that was meant to be live?
No, not that. The food fight stuff.
Oh. Well, okay. That's one thing that I'm still okay with.
I particularly have an issue with it, but let's talk about what happened on SmackDown. And you know what? Very strategically placed, Paul Heyman's 5 o'clock shadow.
Yes.
I mean, tell me that isn't put there on purpose.
That was the first thing I noticed on Paul.
Well, it's patchy too, but I mean, that's just me.
Right, but hey, it definitely feeds into just how rough this past week has been for him.
Paul Heyman is, I mean, he's not in the Hall of Fame yet. He's a Hall of Fame talent for what he did as Paulie Dangerously, for what he did as ECW. But Paul Heyman is also a Hall of Fame talent for what he did as just the advocate and the special counsel. Paulie's an amazing mind in wrestling.
Absolutely. Just
this is all him.
The decades of what he's done and how important of a role he's done to help elevate a lot of superstars. It's amazing.
Let's talk about Charlotte. I was going to say, let's talk about Charlotte Flair and Toni Storm. Charlotte Flair retained on Toni Storm. Did you feel that this could be a chance? But with us knowing that it was taped, don't you think that would have leaked out if she won the match?
Yes, I feel that would have happened. But I too didn't feel the title was going to change hands, but this has been a few weeks in the making. I feel that this is probably the icing on the cake. I don't know if it's going to go any further between Toni Storm and Charlotte, but I do find their matches entertaining. The whole interaction, with the pies to begin with, and it usually sometimes I'm like, okay, funny, haha, but it kept going. But I didn't.
Wait, are you saying the food in the face, a food fight? Wow,
right.
That might be the first time they've done that.
Well, I will say I did enjoy this feud. I did like how they were, putting a newly drafted, I should say, talent on SmackDown on a higher pedestal.
Champ, yeah, I'm with that.
Right. And also, I did enjoy the finish. We're back and forth, especially in the end, all the near falls. And then Charlotte pulled it off, and it was a clean finish.
Yeah, she recovered to reverse the small package and picked up the 3 count.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So I was good with that match. I thought it was entertaining. And, again, even though Toni didn't win, she's a bigger star in her eyes.
Okay, because it was taped, they didn't have a lot, and this is the reason why you got these other talents, because it was taped. They didn't have a lot that they could do with the same talents over and over. So they had a 12 Days of Christmas 12-man gauntlet to earn a Intercontinental title match. Now, here's how it went. Angel defeated Mansoor. Angel defeated Eric. Shanky defeats Angel. Ivar defeats Shanky. Sheamus defeats Ivar. Sheamus defeats Drew Gulak. Sheamus defeats Cesaro. And here comes Ricochet defeating Sheamus. Ricochet defeated Humberto. Ricochet defeated Jinder Mahal. Sami Zayn defeats Ricochet. Sami Zayn was not held down. He was given the best spot, and he won his match.
Right. I mean, Ricochet really held his own there for a very long time. And then I kind of think, like, who else was left, because it looked like this could finally go his way. There's been a lot of matches recently that have had a lot on the line that Ricochet is just, you would think maybe this might be his chance at getting a championship, but out comes Sami Zayn, and as soon as he came out, I'm like, all right, Sami's gonna win this, because he's still, I mean, I know, like, he's not involved with Brock Lesnar anymore, but he's still a top star right now on SmackDown, and
he's a locker room leader.
That too, yes. That's the liberator.
That's right.
And yeah,
that's what I'm saying. There was no being held down in this match. Sami Zayn is the number 1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship. By the way, he said he never lost it.
Oh, yes, that's a great point. And although,
and that goes back 2 years. Remember, with Jeff Hardy and the other belt?
Yes. So, although current champion Shinsuke Nakamura is on Team Long Time, I feel that when this does get defended, that this might slower to Sami Zayn's way. I know you and Matthew talked recently about how Shinsuke has been the Intercontinental Champion for a while, and while he's had the title, he really hasn't had many matches to really challenge. Really,
he hasn't been relevant as far as defending it or being acknowledged as. He's had Rick Boogs come out and, say he's Rick Boogs and play a guitar line. He's had Pat McAfee dancing on the table. But other than that, there's nothing memorable about this run for Shinsuke.
Yeah. And right now, the momentum's
makes you nervous,
Sammy's
doesn't
way.
it?
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
All right. The main event was Drew McIntyre and the New Day defeating the Usos and Madcap Moss. The Usos and Madcap Moss in a Miracle on 34th Street fight, which means somebody's going to get hit with food or milk or powder or whatever it is.
We got eggnog.
Eggnog. That's what it was. But like I said, I mean, you enjoy it. I think it's a trope that they continue to go to the well on 30 plus years now. Got to come up with something new.
Well, I think for the first time I saw Christmas trees being used as a weapon in the street fight.
That Christmas tree is a weapon.
So
every time I say that, I think of Gary Oldman. You ever see the movie? Now I'm drawing a blank
Tombstone.
Here. No, Denzel Washington and Mila Kunis and Gary Oldman.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's not a book. It's a weapon.
So maybe trees have been used in the past, but I think it was 2 trees used at once.
Wow. Okay. Well, hey. Well, there you go. So that was SmackDown. Again, folks, we've got Raw tonight. We've got SmackDown on Friday, and then it's day one this coming Saturday.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who's all cleared for that for tonight on Raw, and of course, hopefully, I don't have to make too many changes for this pay-per-view that kicks off the new year.
Yeah, Book of Eli, by the way, that's the name of the movie. The Book of Eli. What ends up happening is Denzel's blind at the end, and it's not a book; it's a weapon because he has the last copy of the Bible. But you find out at the end the Bible is a Braille version, so it means nothing to anybody except for Denzel Washington because he can read Braille.
Got it.
Okay, let's talk Rampage. Rampage had 4 matches in an hour again, and it was Christmas Day. After watching 24 hours of You're Gonna Shoot Your Eye Out, Kid, we got AEW, and literally right up to Rampage. So Rampage aired right at the end of 24 straight hours of A Christmas Story. I think everybody at TNT was excited to see something else. All right, it was Holiday Bash Night 2, which came from the Greensboro Coliseum, so they're not trying to fake it. I mean, they obviously taped this last Wednesday. Opening match, getting everybody excited. Jungle Boy with Luchasaurus and Christian Cage taking on Isaiah Cassidy with the Hardy family offices, Matt Hardy, Mark Quinn, and Jorah Joel. Jorah's got a win over the Fanny Pack Kid, I believe, from the Milwaukee show.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, well, he had a Poison Rana. That was amazing. But Jungle Boy ends up getting Isaiah Cassidy locked in the snare trap, forced him to tap out the winner, Jungle Boy.
My takeaway from this was just how hot the crowd was when Jungle Boy came out.
Yeah.
Whoa,
that's a song. Again, that is so huge. I'm telling you, the music. Adam Cole, I could, leave him, forget him, like him, hate him, whatever, but his song is straight fire.
Yeah. Do you think, sorry, I'm digressing here, since I didn't get to talk to you about Kyle O'Reilly showing up on Dynamite, if we got 3 of the 4 EU that they might do, not the exact same positioning of the Adam Cole baby done on NXT, but I feel like something similar could be done now that he's got.
Well, this would be their, and Matthew and I talked about it a little bit, this would be their 3rd run with this. Because remember, they were that in Ring of Honor.
Yep, yeah. I remember the question you address is you ask if it's getting stale, if it's getting old.
Yeah.
I personally don't think so, just because it is another audience. Maybe those, some people haven't seen them as a faction in ROH, or they do remember them from NXT, but maybe not really when they're at their highest moment. So this could be just something where it's like, all right, I got a taste of this trio, and obviously Roddy's not there, but perhaps.
But Roddy's going to be in on New Year's Eve. He's going to be in a belt versus belt match. We don't know what his contract status is.
That's true.
We don't.
Although he is the leader of Diamond Mine, so who knows?
Maybe that's how you keep him, and tell him not to leave. You make him the leader of a Diamond Mine.
Right.
All right. Let's talk video package out of the Redeemo Miro. This was fantastic. I thought Morpheus was going to show up at any point too. It looked like the Matrix.
I love these, and I know you guys have talked about this before. Him constantly mentioning his hot wife, Lana. She's gotta be showing.
I mean, maybe there's a chance that she shows up with him. She's not on a contract to anybody.
Right, she has to, or her name I believe is CJ. So I don't know if what it would be.
Hopefully, she comes with an English accent because while I love the ravishing Russian, she broke it a couple times in WWE, so just don't give me the accent again. Just come straight.
Yeah, she's just got to be, he said, hey, this is quote from her husband, just, be the hot wife. And if they're, a heel, I mean, I think having her to come in, cheat and interfere with the matches would be tremendous. Yep. Mm-hmm.
She was huge when he first came up to the roster.
Yeah.
Bear Country's Bear Bronson took on Team Taz's Hook. By the way, they flashed it up on the screen. Number 1 in merchandise. Hook. Right. Did you see the shirt that he's selling? The one that's number 1? It says nothing but Hook on it.
Okay. I was going to say, I was like, I know you mentioned him having the number 1 item. And then I believe it was on Dynamite, Taz got a quick thing saying, like, when Punk was like number 2 in the t-shirt, so he's like, I got to get that in. Obviously his debut match last week was impressive. His match on Rampage at Christmas was impressive as well. But I know everybody talks about his presence online and social media with fans, and that's something that I haven't really seen, looked into, I guess. But I wonder if part of that is why he's so
Well, we haven't
popular.
dug deep on it yet, right? So I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
Here's what I think, and I've said this a few times, and I want to hear your opinion on it. He reminds me of one of the Paul brothers.
Oh, okay. I did hear you say that. No.
No, but I mean like talented version of it. Because what he
Yes.
looks like is a 21st century, 2021, 2022 Paul brother, where he's
With the
this new generation of,
shorts.
internet sensation, but he's legit a stone cold killer.
Right. And I think the shorts too, you think about that. Yep. Young stud, but yeah, I can see that comparison there.
And that haircut, holy smokes.
Yeah. And he's got something different too, where I've never seen someone not want to get their hand raised.
Right, he just leaves the ring. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I thought maybe that was just the first match, but he did it again this past
He's
week.
all that and a bag of chips.
Yeah. I will say I am highly impressed by him, though. I know that hearing his dad on commentary obviously helps get him over more, but I do enjoy personally,
And he's not out of line with his putting him over either.
No.
I mean, he's calling a normal match, which I'm pretty happy with.
Right. But just, like doing martial arts myself, I am enjoying hearing, and, Excalibur as well, mentioning all the different judo technique that he's doing, that he's done jujitsu and his actual grappling background, and you see it. But I love how he's just like Hook himself. He's got that chill, cocky yet chill attitude, which I love. So that's working right now.
I've got a bone to pick with Excalibur. I'm poking holes again, right? You guys have heard me poke holes. I'm just nitpicking right now. If I hear Suicido one more time, more time.
Suicide, huh?
I mean, good God, man. How many times a night do we hear that?
Well, a lot of them do it. So would you rather hear Suicide Dive or just...
I'd rather just maybe talk up.
ropes.
I don't have to have every move called. You know what I'm saying? I hear it all the time. Maybe call something else. I don't have to have the move. Every move explained to me. I know what it is. Suicidal Dive! Damn it, Excalibur. Enough. Sorry. And now that's probably going to be in your head and everyone else's heads, but...
Okay, Suicida.
All right, big win for Hook. Eddie Kingston backstage in his promo. He got beat by Daniel Garcia, but next week he's got Santana Ortiz. He's going to take on Daniel Garcia and 2.0. And I love when it's proud and powerful, proud and Puerto Rican, or proud and powerful, or it's something like that. But
I think it's proud and powerful.
Yeah, I love the team with Santana and Ortiz, especially when they're teaming up on Eddie Kingston, which was LAX in TNA.
Right. That's fantastic. And I feel that Garcia and 2.0 are, did I say 2.0?
Yeah, it's 2, the word point, and O, or 0.
Okay, so it is. I'm thinking, I was thinking NXT 2.0, but if they are 2.0 as well, I think Garcia and 2.0 are about to get a whooping.
Yeah. Legit Layla Hirsch taking on the Galaxy's greatest alien, Chris Statlander, with freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. Now, Statlander offered to shake hands at the end with Layla Hirsch after the match, but Hirsch slapped Statlander's hand out of the way, stormed off, because they started off friendly, shook hands before the match. They weren't having it at the end.
Right. I enjoyed this match. I liked seeing the different size difference, but it was still a highly competitive and pretty equal match. Both did fantastic in their submission holds and whatnot. But yeah, I liked seeing that heat from Layla Hirsch, because we know that she is legit, huh?
That's
However,
right. Yeah.
At least in AEW, we haven't really seen this other side of her, and I like it. She's pulling it off really well.
The main event. TNT champion Spanish God Sammy Guevara taking on the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes with the Enforcer Arn Anderson, Lee Johnson, and Brock Anderson. Boy, the crowd booed Cody right out of the building, folks, because the winner of the match and new 3-time TNT champion Cody Rhodes.
And new 3-time TNT champion. You know what? Good for Cody, because especially with all that booing.
This has got to be pretty close to him being a heel now.
Yeah. I mean, it's not yet, but I mean, this is how I felt with the whole Cena thing. Like, I was and still am, and always will be a big John Cena fan. So when he got the boos, I was like, okay, I get it. But then I was just like, no, this makes me want Cena just to put it more in the face as everyone booing him. And I know it's just, obviously everybody loves Cena. It's just, you just got the turn at that time
right.
is to.
Yeah, let me ask you this question.
The cool thing to do is boo him, I guess.
Yeah, let me ask you this question. Did we see it in front of us again when they said, oh, by the way, sitting ringside to present the belt to the person who wins the match is the legendary David Crockett. Oh, Cody's going to win.
Because of Crockett's history with his dad?
Because of Crockett's history with the Rhodes family.
All right.
Was it in front of us again?
I guess I did put 2 and 2 as always, like you said, but I had a feeling going into this that Cody was going to get the title back, and indeed he did. Good match.
He'll be taking that into the TBS show once they go to TBS. Not this Wednesday, folks, but next week Wednesday they are live on TBS. And Go Big show is happening. You got the Roads to the Top, all that. Brandy is back out wrestling again. So
right.
All right, here's what they have announced.
Strong.
Yep, here's what they have announced for New Year's Smash live on TNT, which will be the final one, and it's live from Daly's place. They got a trios match, which is, like I said, LAX, Mad King, Eddie Kingston, Santana Ortiz taking on Daniel Garcia in 2.0. They got the TBS Championship semifinals, Thunder Rosa and Jade Cargill. There's a trios match. Here you go, Linda. Freshly Squeezed, Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, and Trent taking on Adam Cole, baby. Infamous Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly.
Those are some huge matches right there. What a show. I'm excited for that. And for it to take place at Daly's place to end not just the year, but their run on TNT.
Yeah.
Pretty tremendous.
Absolutely. All right. Well, hey, we got Raw tonight. Who knows who's showing up? If there's a roster, we might have to have NXT there again, like when they got lost in Saudi Arabia. Might have to have all NXT on Raw tonight, so you never know.
Right. Just like speaking of how you may not know who might show up where, like if there was a show where it's just like PWR from back in the day in Milwaukee, like say there was a show and just you and Dave Hero were there, and me and DN and the Kaz were at a wrestling filming game, LG DeGeneres game show taping. Was that something that happened over
something like that? Note to self: don't tell Linda about any PWR dreams I have before we go on the air.
Right. Well, hey, fantasies can become reality.
That's another show for another time and another time slot. For Linda Kate, the man they call Meathead. Hey, thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning. So long, everyone.